Because we have listened so attentively, we decided that we need to make further amendments to the proposals. So we have introduced two sets of amendments, one before the introduction of a bill and one after the introduction of a bill, especially for the 6 measures introduced after the presentation of a bill, which I have just elaborated. The one concerning human rights safeguards is a very important one, because if you understand the process of dealing with this extradition or surrender of fugitive offenders request from a requesting party, the first step requires the chief executive to trigger the process by giving a certificate. Now, what we are now saying that before the chief executive triggers that process, that is to accept the requesting party's request to surrender a fugitive offender, we will require the requesting party to undertake to guarantee a long list of human rights protections. And these human rights protections resemble very closely to the international standards and the guarantees under the ICCPR. So this is a very practical package that has struck the necessary balance between the protection of human rights, the allaying of public anxieties and concerns, and also the objective. And the objective, I need not repeat it. It is a very important objective to deal with such offenders, to avoid Hong Kong become a haven for fugitives, and also to discharge our international obligation. Apart from these human rights safeguards, there is an additional measure which elaborates that the final authority to surrender or not to surrender rests with the chief executive. In other words, when the court agrees to surrender, then the chief executive could still be the gatekeeping of deciding not to surrender a fugitive offender, taking into account several factors: the changing circumstances, the humanitarian grounds, and so on. So that is the moment that the chief executive could still re-examine the whole case and the changing circumstances to decide. But the important thing is if the court decides not to surrender, even the chief executive could not overrule the court to say that because somebody wants this offender, I will surrender. That is not possible, because if that's possible, that means that the chief executive is above the law or totally disregarding the law, and that is something no chief executive could do in a highly civilized and rule of law society like Hong Kong.